Denzel Ward on Twitter. Twitter reactions brought to you by Scheibin Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. 6:44 and 34 seconds for those scoring at home. Denzel, my Ohio State brother Terry McLaurin would look fire in a Cleveland Browns jersey. I'm just saying.
Fire emoji.
Yes, fire emoji.
I mean, I agree.
Well,
Don't
he
you
wrote
agree?
fire, and then he put the fire emoji in there. He wrote fire. He wrote the word.
He doubled down on it.
He doubled down on fire. 2 fires in the same tweet. I mean, I looked at that. I go, is that real? Denzel Ward don't say boo to a goose, to be honest with you. And when it comes to the media, and then I look at there's Twitter. He actually does get on Twitter. I just always assume it's like a PR person who sends players tweets so much. Especially a guy like Denzel. Denzel's a franchise guy.
Maybe it's a cousin who is an assistant.
$100 million guy. And then it just says, my Ohio State brother, Terry McLaurin, would look fire in a Cleveland Browns jersey. I'm just saying. I went, holy geez. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because Terry McLaurin has now requested a trade, according to Jordan Schultz and Adam Schefter. So Terry McLaurin's not doesn't think highly of the Commanders right now, Terry McLaurin. Great wide receiver. Problem is he's 29 years old. My wide receiver room is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And he wants a contract, right?
Correct.
Yes. Other than Jerry Jeudy, I say it's terrible. Like, the guys might be good. It's just totally unproven other than Jerry Jeudy. I have to play with more than one wide receiver. It's just going to be Josh Gordon all over again. So I have to have other guys. So my wide receiver room is bad. One of the worst in the league. I think they were 29th by The Athletic.
Well, I was saying yesterday, if Deontay Johnson is being regarded as like the number 2 right now,
exactly,
and a lock to make the team,
but you're
what
not
does that tell
paying
you?
him. But I'm going, okay, what do I trade for Terry McLaurin? And while I get excited because I really think Terry McLaurin, now he's got Jaden Daniels, so people are finally seeing what he's available to. But Ohio State fans have known this. You have known this. Terry McLaurin's probably the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL for the last couple of years, up until when Jaden Daniels got with the Washington Commanders. I still can't advocate a trade for the guy. It doesn't make any sense, common sense, for this organization.
But
how many more games do they win with Terry McLaurin? And then there's the whole conversation, how many games do people actually want to win with this football team?
Yeah, it is a good point. There's almost no logic in trading for him, except that we were talking about emotion with Quan. And
there's one
the
thing
Guardians
I can think to do.
But we were talking about all the emotion with that and them not trading Quan. And I'm telling you, I mean, if they did trade for Terry McLaurin, we would kind of excited, wouldn't we?
I'd be excited, but I'd be excited for the now. And I think by the end of the year, I'd go, why did you make the trade? What was the point of it? I don't think he's not a malcontent. He's not a guy that's going to create problems for you in the locker room.
But he's
none of those things.
He's using the most leverage he could possibly use.
This is it.
And maybe the last time he's ever going to be able to use it.
So I don't begrudge him for trying to make a payday, and I don't think any Browns fans would begrudge him either. He doesn't play for the Guardians, or he doesn't play for the Browns either way, so it doesn't matter about that. But again, how many more games do I win? And so we're running into this problem here where it's like, how much do I want to win? Do I want to win? And what does the season stand for? I think those are questions. Like, I think a fan wants to win, but they don't know if they want to win too much because you have 2 first-round picks next year. Okay, so that would not bring you in Terry McLaurin. You want to win, but do you really want to win because of the 2 first-round picks? And then, well, if you want to win, then Joe Flacco starts the season. But what are people saying? Well, if Joe Flacco, I heard the caller last night on Jake's show and it was several callers. Well, every snap that Joe Flacco takes is another snap less for either Shaduer Sanders or Dylan Gabriel, and we got to get this thing figured out. So you're going up against these 2 things. You don't really stand for much as an organization. I'm supposed to bring Terry McLaurin into this for what? To win 6 games instead of 5? It's a nonsensical move to make.
Is there an argument that
he would help out Shaduer Sanders and Dylan Gabriel? Hell yeah, he would help out Shaduer Sanders and Dylan Gabriel.
Or the rookie the following year.
But you know what? Terry McLaurin's a great wide receiver. How many quarterbacks has he played with that have just sucked up the room up until I know that Alex Smith didn't really get the chance because of the injury. Okay, fine. But, man, you've had a lot of guys there that have just ended up being terrible. So Terry McLaurin isn't going to put either of those guys into the Hall of Fame. They have to go out there and play for themselves. How many guys have we seen? It's always quarterback to wide receiver. It's a wide receiver can make a guy look decent, but in the end, it's still going to end it. Josh Gordon had 1,600 yards. Brandon Whedon's still on his ass. And Terry McLaurin can go out there and put up 1,200 yards. And Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel can still be on their ass. So what does it help? And honestly, do you even want it if you really want to evaluate Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel? I'm not trying to make it harder on them, but don't you want a true evaluation? What did we just say yesterday? Gabe Larverdane, the kid from Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
You got Gabe Larverdane, the kid from Miami of Ohio. I said, hey, Shedeur, throwing to him, threw a touchdown pass to him. You want guys to elevate? You want them to elevate. You don't want to be fooled by just Terry McLaurin or by Jerry Jeudy. So you can take either argument and do anything you want with it. I can bring those guys in. I'm still not going to win that many games. I can bring that guy in, and then I can still find, okay, well, then great. He was here for a season. He did well, but he really kind of masked what we were not seeing with certain quarterbacks on this football team. And now we're in a worse position because it's 2027, and we weren't able to get in on the 2026 class. I know that people will say Arch Manning to make themselves feel better, but you're still not doing yourself the service of it. So I know Denzel Ward, and you seem like you are not interested in this conversation whatsoever.
Well, I'm telling you that if they traded for him, I think we'd be going Super Bowl, Super Browns, even if it's
if we traded for him, I would not be saying, oh, yeah, we've done Super Bowl, Super. Yeah, that's how it started, was tongue-in-cheek.
But just the excitement of having him, knowing that, I mean, is he better than Jeudy? Or are they 1A, 1B?
Probably 1A, 1B. I mean, Jerry Jeudy played really well this year.
No, but
McLaurin's
proven it now with no quarterback play. I mean, he's had Keenum, Heineke, Smith. Like, he's had nobody throwing to him.
Yeah, but okay, Terry McLaurin's been better throughout his career than what Jerry Jeudy has. Jerry Jeudy has less years. Maybe Jerry Jeudy ends up having another great season with 4 of these quarterbacks here this year. So we'll see what Jerry Judy's able to do. Fine, 1A, 1B. I'm not going to split hairs. Yes, Terry McLaurin's been the better wide receiver, but I still don't know if Jerry Jeudy has had that opportunity. But either way, what are you saying about this situation?
That it makes no sense logically to trade for a wide receiver pushing 30 at this stage. Like, it makes no sense because we've come to grips, right? I think most Browns fans have come to grips that, and Albert Breer, the way he deemed it, didn't call it total rebuild, but it kind of is, right? It kind of is a rebuild, even though they've got Denzel Ward and they've got Miles, and they've got the aging offensive linemen, because next year it's going to be a totally different team. Like the veterans are all going to be kind of phased out of here.
You'll probably have Miles, you'll probably have Denzel to some level. I don't know what they're going to do with David Njoku. I think he's in his final year. Conklin, Batonio.
Veterans are
yeah, and you got a lot of pressure.
It's kind of assumed that, all right, Harold Fannin, that'll be year 2 for Harold Fannin. It's going to be his team at tight end, not David Njoku.
Gosh, you're thinking about this. Whoever is able to get that quarterback job, you're probably playing with some rookies on the offensive line anyway next year. I know a lot of people like to look at the depth of the offensive line and get excited for you. Okay, if Zach Zinter's able to come in and play, which you hope so, my God. If Zach Zinter's able to come in and play, a guy who I was excited about, but coming off a leg injury last year, all right, that solves one of the guards. Or he might end up playing center for you, for that matter.
I do think the good teams go out and find a lineman in free agency. Not a bunch of linemen, but they find 1 or 2 in free agency. But you've got to have a bunch of good young linemen already, and they don't have that for sure right now.
So still in real life, we're looking at a quarterback who can elevate it and make it look better than what it is. But really, we're putting off a rebuild here that starts in earnest next year, because you're not going to pay any of those. You might pay 1, but if Harold Fannin Jr. shows anything, sorry. If Wyatt shows something, maybe because you don't have a lot of offensive linemen and you'll be losing Joe Batonio more than likely, and you can bump up Zach Zinter, but again, what position is he going to play? So how much more do I give Wyatt? We don't know. So there's a maybe there. Like, there's a lot of change that's about to happen with this team, and it doesn't make sense for Terry in his career going on 30 years old to be with this organization. It doesn't make sense for the organization either.
And I do wonder, it's been since what did they take Corey Coleman? It's been a long time since they've taken a wide receiver.
That was a time.
In the first round?
Yeah.
Do you think that's on the table? I know it's premature, but do you think it's on the table next year?
If Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders plays very well, yes, technically it's on the table right now.
Either that, or if that one of those two picks is the first overall pick anyway, right? And then you don't have to trade the other one to move up.
But
maybe
they haven't had the chance to show anything yet to the fan base in all earnestness.
Right.
So as of August 1st, today's August 1st, they use those 2 first-round picks on a quarterback and probably an offensive lineman, or they use those 2 first-round picks to move up for a quarterback. And then you're looking at maybe a first-round wide receiver, depending on what the rest of your roster looks like. You might be looking at a first-round wide receiver in 2027. Is that enough time for Terry McLaurin, or is Terry McLaurin going to want more, and is it still going to bog me down? It's probably still going to bog me down. This is a bizarre time for Browns fans, guys. You got to understand this. I got a lot of heat. Didn't get as much heat as I thought I was going to get. We ended up making the New York Post yesterday, Tone. Congratulations on all our success.
Oh, all right. What was it, talking about Stephen Kwan?
No, it was talking about Dylan. No, it was talking about Shedeur Sanders, obviously.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Can I level with fans here for a moment? I don't think I need to level with Browns fans. I don't think I do. Maybe they don't trust the Browns, and the Browns don't deserve to be trusted. They're 3-14. So maybe that's part of this whole thing that I don't want to recognize here. So yesterday, I get pretty animated over Shaduer Sanders in this belief that the Browns are sabotaging Shedeur, or they're doing what they can to hurt Shedeur, break Shedeur, according to Uncle Luke, right? And I went, hold on. I can't sit there and scream and yell and berate at people every single day. I don't know, I've been doing it for 14 years. Maybe I can continue doing it. But I'm not going to do it. Can I level with the Shedeur fans out there?
Day 2 of trying to level with the Shedeur fans.
I didn't try to level with him yesterday. I tried to beat the sense down into everybody and say what this situation is, and nobody wanted to listen to it. Even Browns fans I was yelling at it about. I shouldn't yell. I'm not going to yell here. This is not a yell. Hey, it's like a fight when you have a fight with your wife and it's like, hey, let's talk here. Let's sit at the kitchen table.
So you don't think yesterday sunk in appropriately? Like
not with the people who are just joining in and being Browns fans because of Shedeur. I want to level with those folks right now. Okay? Can we do that? Owen, can I do that? Let me
I will allow it.
Let me try to reason with you guys. You don't trust the Browns. Okay. No reason to. I'm not even saying to trust the Browns. My whole point was I don't believe that they are going to try to break a guy on purpose. That's not the issue. If you don't think the Browns are good at evaluating quarterbacks, well, there is 25 plus years of evidence that would tell you that they're really not. But let me ask you this. When you guys give me the argument about the reps and the lack that he gets, I want to ask Daryl about this at 8:21 as well this morning. What is the other team in this league that has this magical amount of reps? Now, correction. I use the term magical. Now I'm being sarcastic and cynical and nasty.
Come on. Let's get back.
Let me be nice. I'm sorry. Let me communicate better than that.
Brass
I'm sorry,
tacks
guys.
here, Kenny. Come on.
What is the other team that can offer Shaduer Sanders the same amount of reps as the Cleveland Browns? There is a dead silence in the room.
Maybe one team I can think of.
I thought of one team
currently constituted.
I thought of one team that might.
We're probably thinking of the exact same team.
New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, the Saints.
There's one team I thought that might be able to offer the same amount, but they have Tyler Shuck, and they're getting him ready. They took him. Where did they took Tyler Shuck? Second round? Yes, earlier this year. They took Tyler Shuck in the second round. Now, I agree with you. Shaduer Sanders is not a fifth-round talent. For whatever reason in the NFL, 216-474-0092. Let me meet you halfway. I don't believe that Shaduer Sanders sucks.
Maybe the Jets.
And I was thoroughly surprised that he ended up in the fifth round. Something's weird here. But the Saints need a quarterback. Saints took Tyler Shuck. They have Spencer Rattler. They have Jake Haener. And I don't believe that they have all these reps that the Browns are 1 week in starting to really give Shaduer Sanders. You brought up the Jets. Who do the Jets got in their depth chart there?
Justin Fields.
Okay, well, he's going to get the reps as long as his toe's okay. He needs the reps. He's not a 15. He's not a 17-year vet like Joe Flacco.
They've got Tyrod Taylor and Adrian Martinez.
Okay, well, we know from history that It seems like there's been 18,000 Adrian Martinez that have come from where? Nebraska, I'm guessing?
Right?
Yeah, thank you.
Martinez.
Told you. Champions pose on that one. And we know from experience, Terod's going to get his reps. We know about that already, right? So the Jets can't give you as many reps as what the Browns can give them. And the Saints can't give him as many reps as the Browns can give him. And again, both these teams are quarterback-needy teams. They passed on him.
Now, if he would have been taken, let's just say, let's be generous. Let's say second round. Would we have that same analysis about getting reps?
No, but he would be getting more reps. See, this is where, guys, with the Shedeur fans, I agree with you. I can meet you halfway on some. I don't know why he fell to the fifth round, guys. I can't explain it. The only thing I can think of is that he walked into certain meetings and gave double birds to some of these teams, which is something he would never do. So I don't understand why he did get to the fifth round, but he did get to the fifth round. He got picked up by us. And I firmly believe we're the only team that can offer him the reps that he's getting. He's getting reps with the twos against the ones. It's been 1 week. Who knows what he's going to be getting reps with next week?
People have got to remember that. They are acting.
It's been 1 week.
This is a level of consumption in the NFL today in 2025. And people are so starved for anything football that what you just said is unbelievable. It's only been a week.
It's been a week.
Kenny, it feels like it's been a month. It's only been a week. And so fans do have to understand that. Like, it's so early. And the one knock, and I don't know what's true and what's not, but the one knock about Shedeur was maybe not ready, whiteboard, all that stuff, maybe not ready right away.
Yeah, but I've seen other guys be not ready for the whiteboard and certainly go way before the fifth round.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
100%. We were all shocked. I mean, this show was talking about him as a potential number 2 overall pick at one point.
This whole station was. I think this whole city was been talking about him as a potential number 2 overall
But I
pick.
will say the reaction, just the fact that it made the New York Post at all and your rant got on there to begin with, there is without a doubt a Tim Tebow element here. Do you think that's like the level that he is getting talked about and the exposure and how big of a fan base he cultivated in the college game? Like there is, I am sensing.
There's a difference, though.
One was taken in the first round.
Yeah, I know. And I was, you know what? I'm shocked that Shedeur fell to the fifth, and I was damn sure shocked that Tim Tebow went in the first round. And the second thing I'll add to this, and I'll let you take that part over because I know you've been thinking, I can tell you've been thinking about this for a while. I have way more faith in Shaduer Sanders as that can become a starting franchise NFL quarterback than I ever had in Tim Tebow. Wins and losses, I know. Wins and losses, you give the backups. You don't give that to franchise guys. I have way more faith in Shedeur Sanders than I ever had in Tim Tebow. Both good guys. Tim Tebow's obviously a walking saint on earth. Not saying that they're bad guys. I got way more faith that Shedeur Sanders can be a franchise quarterback than I ever did with Tim Tebow. Not in the same ballpark to me.
See, it's interesting because Tim Tebow famously had a huge playoff game. Huge clutch touchdown throw in a playoff game. Was it against the Steelers?
Yes. So. Yeah.
So all the Steeler fans that are listening to us instead of Pittsburgh radio. Salting the wounds there.
They did send 11 against him. It was pretty easy. Just throw it over the defense.
He did it. He made it happen.
I was in charge of that defense at the time.
Can I give you 2 other teams that maybe he would get reps with?
All right.
The Indianapolis Colts, maybe. They have Anthony Richardson. They have Daniel Jones. And maybe the Raiders.
The Raiders are a wild-ass team. But why didn't those teams then take them higher than the fifth round?
Yeah, I agree.
So if they're all needy teams, like we took a quarterback in the third round, then we came back and we traded, and we took him in the fifth round. So that's what leads me to believe. You're right about those other teams, but I still don't believe that they could offer Shedeur as much as what the Cleveland Browns can offer him as far as opportunity.
Yeah, but they went and got Geno Smith. So what reps are you?
Him. Yeah, I'm not a Geno believer, but
no, I understand. But what reps are you talking about? Because you wouldn't if you went out and got Geno Smith.
Well, right now, if Kenny Pickett didn't get injured, right, Shedeur would be getting no reps right now.
Apparently so.
So the reps he's getting right now are not real reps in my eyes.
I think we're all, and I'm going to take to the calls here coming up at 7:21. I promise you guys that. 216-474-0092. Did you have anything else to go on the Tebow thing before
the only reason I bring up Tim Tebow is because I am seeing a fan base from around the country, which is what Tebow had.
There
were plenty of people that did not think Tebow was even worth a first-round pick. They couldn't even believe he was taken where he was taken. But he was such a celebrity figure. He was all-time great college football player. He might have been. You rank him as maybe the best in our lifetime. He's right up there in terms of effectiveness in college football. I don't even know what he was. I mean, he was a quarterback. He was an H-back. He was a running back. I mean, he did all that. And he won one Heisman. You thought he could win two. And Ty Archie, that is what I am experiencing right now in terms of the feedback we are getting from fans that are not Browns fans, that are Shedeur Sanders first fans.
I think
Tim Tebow had a Tim Tebow first fandom.
I agree with you. I think I really do think that that's an apt comparison. I think he was the first one to have his own fans. And now we're seeing a lot of guys with their own fans.
Yes. Things are changing.
And there will be more Shedeur Sanders in the future and more Tim Tebows in the future than we've ever seen before. That's where college football is headed right now. I think we need to accept the truth, though, is that I still stand pat and I say, who was willing to offer more opportunity than the Cleveland Browns? Nobody. There's only one team that's willing to offer more opportunity than the Cleveland Browns. That's a professional football team, and that's the Toronto Argonauts. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not trying to make a joke, and I'm not trying to be mean-spirited here. But that's the situation. I don't agree with the rest of the NFL. I don't think that he should have been a fifth-round pick. I think he should have been taken higher. But for some reason, and maybe we're going to find out here starting next Friday against the Carolina Panthers because he's damn sure going to play. Maybe we'll start to find that out then, or maybe we'll start to prove the NFL wrong. Hopefully the latter. The NFL has something against him. All 32 teams at some point said, not for us. The NFL has something against him. It is my belief. Whatever that may be, maybe they just think he's a bad quarterback. But the NFL has something against him. And so if it weren't with the Browns, who's it going to be with?
So while
he was in the fifth round, who was going to give him more? Who was going to give him more opportunity if he were a sixth or a seventh round pick?
While all the Sanders fans are saying they wish he would have gone anywhere but Cleveland today because they feel like it's been unfair. They've got some grievance against him. They're holding him back. They're sabotaging. That was the term that we took offense to yesterday. You, Ken Carman, are saying today, thank God the Browns took him. Because where else was he going to get that opportunity?
It's the best opportunity he has. It's the most open job in the NFL. It's the only real, truly what's supposed to be open job in the NFL. And I'm talking about being a backup. I'm not even talking about being a starter here. They should never have said, you know what? I disagree with Daryl. Daryl was right. They should have never said it was a four-way competition. It was a totally open competition. That was probably not the smart thing to do. The messaging was not right. But as far as being a backup, I think it's as open as it gets. And to give him that opportunity. And if you got a 40-year-old quarterback that's starting the season who's a journeyman, we're not talking Aaron Rodgers here. You're on the fast track if you get that second quarterback job. So if he's able to beat out Dylan Gabriel and show what he has, guys, this is all going to be a waste of our time and our oxygen, arguing over reps in the first week of the season. I truly do believe, and talking to people who, by the way, are guys who cover the NFL, who are as cynical as they get about the Cleveland Browns, I will tell you this right now. Working the phones yesterday, because I'm listening to Jake Volnick. I'm driving around after football practice yesterday, and I'm listening to Jake, and it's not even Jake, it's the calls. And I go, what am I missing? And I got three people. Ken, you know what I think of the Browns. If I'm lying, I'm dying. On my kids. Ken, you know what I think of the Browns. They're doing 100% right by Shedeur. They're doing 100% right by him and giving him an opportunity. Because if he would have fallen to the 6th or 7th round, to me, if he would have fallen to the 6th or 7th round, he would have had even less of an opportunity. It's a packed room. It is very much a packed room. But he has a chance with this team that he just wouldn't have with anybody else. I can guarantee you that as long as he's able to conduct himself with professionalism, and he will, that he's going to play at some point in an NFL regular season game for the Cleveland Browns. You can't guarantee that with the 31 other teams. Can you? No. This is the best opportunity he has. It's not fair, but it's the NFL. The Browns offer Shedeur Sanders the best opportunity to fully make what he's capable of. But the road is rocky ahead. So will he have the opportunity? And this is something that I think that we haven't talked about that much on the air as a station, as an entity, whatever it might be, that he's got to play well. How well does he have to play for the Browns to give up on the 2 first-round picks for a quarterback and take guys to help him. And then if he's third on the depth chart the way that Daryl says, Daryl will put him third on the depth chart. You know what? I'll put him third on the depth chart. Third on the depth chart. I'll put him second on the depth chart because Kenny Pickett ain't available to me right now. And everybody knows that I don't think that there's very much of a future with Kenny Pickett. So you know what? I'm putting Shedeur second on my depth chart. How you like that, buddy?
What would it take for the team to get off their stance on Pickett and even Dillon Gabriel? Like, you got Daryl Ryder saying Dillon Gabriel is the guy they're getting ready to play. They're not necessarily getting Shedeur ready to play because he's not playing with the ones against the ones. It's still very early in the process, but what needs to happen? Is it a preseason game? Is it a joint practice?
I think it's preseason. I think it's all those things. I think it's the excitement if he were to actually have a good preseason. I think that people get excited over those things in the offices. And coaches get excited about that because then I think you start to see the ceiling. I think his ceiling is higher than Dillon Gabriel's. I think, and I got some nasty emails and tweets about that yesterday because I said that there are people who are big Dillon Gabriel supporters. I know that the Browns drafted him third. Was the league not shocked that he got drafted in the third round? I think that Shedeur does have a higher ceiling than him. Physically, I know that Dillon Gabriel knows a lot of football. God, he played for 6 years, so maybe Dillon Gabriel is going to be a real good coach someday. But physically, intangible-wise, all the other stuff, Dillon Gabriel does have a little bit of a stronger arm than what people make it out to be. But I think that Shedeur has the higher ceiling there. But how much does he get to play to prove that you're not going to take a quarterback next year? So that's frustrating because even if he does decently well, does he get the chance to really show that he can do great? And if he doesn't get the chance that he can show that he can do great, how can I advocate to keep Shaduer Sanders over Lenoris Sellers, Drew Aller, Garrett Nussmeier? Down the line we go. It's hard to do. Very hard to do. So even if he's able to climb this mountain, then you have that. My issue has just been, I think he provides the best opportunity of the Browns provide the best opportunity of any NFL team out there. It's not fair. It's true. It's not fair that he got drafted in the 5th round. I don't think he should have been drafted in the 5th round. I think he should have went much higher. But there's something that the NFL didn't like, and they were willing to pass on him over and over. And if the Browns didn't take him, he might have gone in the 6th or 7th round. I'm not sure. You can't say anything's for certain. And even then, it's like, okay, is that something we hang our hat on? That, he definitely would have went in the 6th and 7th round. Like, that's nothing to hang your hat on. This is as open as it gets. Not for the starter. Not for the starter. This is an open opportunity as it gets to be a backup, to be a rookie that people get excited about. I don't know if anybody else offers him a better chance than the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe anybody else.
Now, isn't it crazy, though? Even without one of the guys, with Kenny Pickett sidelined, we don't know for how long. Mm-hmm. But you look and you see, and I've watched the video montages, or when you've been at practice, you've been trying to stay as dialed in as you can to evaluate. And on the one day he went 9-9, right? 9 throws. That's it. That's what we're practicing. 9 throws. It's just not going to be a lot of opportunity. And here you're saying he has more opportunity here than he has almost anywhere else. And you get 9 chances to throw the football, and 6 of them are going to be 5 yards or less.
I refuse to address
That's just not.
I refuse.
How do the coaches evaluate that?
I refuse to address it. I think it's lowest common denominator garbage. I hate it.
The stats.
Because guys, all we know, he could have went around. There's run plays that I'm sure he works on, and he could have turned the wrong direction or handed off, or people mess it up.
They might tell the defense what the play is.
He might have called the wrong play in the huddle.
They might just to challenge the offense. They might be, hey, here's what's coming. Like, you don't know. You don't know any of that. All I'm saying is, how does a coach really give him the chance to move up a depth chart, or any of the guys move up a depth chart, when they only get to throw the football, physically have that ball launched at receivers 9 times for a whole day? So that's one day that's gone. You cross it off the list and you move on to the next day.
Gets me the most angry about it. It gets me the most angry because if he goes in there and he's running the plays correctly and telling people where to go, that doesn't show up on some chart they put up on ESPN. That's what separates it. If he's got the grip of the offense and he throws 0 for 9, it doesn't matter if he's throwing to the right spot. The wide receivers can't learn to run a route. There's a billion of them there. Maybe some don't know how to run a route, but if he's running it to the right spot and he's telling them the right routes to run, okay, that's going to be on the wide receivers. So are you going to overreact on 0 for 9 someday? Just if we're going to throw out camp stat garbage here. Because I can look at it and go, hey, 0 for 9, these wide receivers who I'm all going to cut, they all don't know what they're running. I'll keep this kid and I'll bump him up because he knows how to run this offense. No, we don't see that. That's not an easy thing to put up on SportsCenter. But I got everybody and their brother. Well, how can you deny 9 for 9? I'm not denying 9 for 9. I want to look deeper than 9 for 9. Chuck and Shaker, hello.
Hey, Ken, I'm with you.
Thank you.
Listen, if they're going to keep Shedeur, they wouldn't be putting this much. If they're bringing him along right, not trying to sabotage his career or anything like that, I think he's going to be around. He'll be throwing touchdowns in Brook Park. That's all I got to say.
Ooh, I like it. No, I like it. That solves the issue. Now, he has time to get himself acclimated, but I fear he does not have the time. And I'm totally warranted in this fear, I think. I fear he doesn't have the time that it takes to change their mind over what they may do in the first round next year.
Well, I'm just thinking that this preseason, these exhibition games, he'll shine just like he's doing it at 9 for 9 and throwing that ball like that, throwing those dimes. If he could do that in the preseason and change these guys' mind about the reps, I think he'll be around.
I can't wait.
Chuck, thank you for the call.
I can't believe how giddy I am about the preseason. We
went from you choosing Grandma Corky's baked ziti to now being excited to watch preseason football. It only took Shedeur Sanders. Were you even this excited when Baker was here?
Yeah.
Were you this excited when Johnny was here?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you fluxed.
I was excited. Well, the Johnny thing was awesome because it was life or death every throw. I don't know if Shedeur is life or death every throw right now because he's not getting the starting job.
I think we're going to get to life or death every throw.
But you know what I mean? Like in that one, there were factions of the fan base sitting there with, I think my buddy had a notebook and he was out going, okay, that's 1 for Hoyer. And then it was, and then I swear to God, every completion that Hoyer had is like, oh, look, the corner's not even on him. Like they're not even defending that one. And then when it was Johnny's turn, it was like, they're trying to kill him.
Tim,
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Your buddy Tim did all this.
I had a bunch of buddies. This was cutthroat. And I don't know how this will be. Do you think this will ratchet up to that cutthroat nature of the factions between the fan base?
Yes, because you're not going to see Joe Flacco in the preseason games. And I think Daryl tell us well, before even the injury, how much was Kenny Pickett going to play in the preseason games? So it's going to come down to Dillon Gabriel, where there's just a flat-out disrespect of Dillon Gabriel. Like, I'm not going to get into the name-calling stuff that some of the other media members have gotten into, but there's a flat-out disrespect to Dillon Gabriel. But there's also plenty of people out there, myself included, who do not believe that Dillon Gabriel should have been drafted over Shedeur Sanders. So, yeah, there's going to be an argument. Mike and Stowe, you're next up on the fan. Go ahead.
Good morning. How are we guys doing this morning?
Glad to have you, Mike. We're doing well.
Oh, so I think it's a lot. It's just Cleveland getting too excited again, as always. You know, I know we're impatient because we've just been waiting so long, but this has to play out. They're all going to get their chances. I mean, we know the veterans aren't our future. They're just around to keep things, their insurance policies in case, when the season does go awry, which is going to. That if we really need somebody to go out there and, the rookies can't even hold it together, which is possible, that they're there for that.
Well, do you believe that do you believe that the Browns are being fair, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. Because how can they look? I listened to an afternoon show on maybe it was the same station. There was a guy the other day, sounded like he was ready to pick out China patterns and silver set for a wedding because he's so worked up about. The fact that, Shedeur's only throwing the ball, boys, yada, yada, yada.
Peterlin. You're talking about Jonathan Peterlin.
Yeah.
Jonathan Peterlin.
Oh, yeah, that's
Jonathan, 2-7 Peterlin.
2-7.
Yeah.
On the fan.
And then jump over Jake because later
later
that night.
Yeah, was it Jonathan? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jonathan. I was just trying to name names.
2-7.
Name names all you want, Mike. Name them names.
Afternoon drive.
He's saying about Peterlin.
He's talking about Peterlin.
I'll cuss out Peterlin at the drop of a hat. I don't care.
Yeah, he's been ridiculous about it because he doesn't even.
Who, Jonathan?
Jonathan's.
You got the right guy?
I do believe that. He's been going on like 3 times. Listen, he's like 3 different ways of the same thing. Tell like how Shedeur's not getting enough of fair shaking out.
I heard Peterlin say that. I did hear him say that.
He did say that.
He's saying they're going to mess him up by what they're doing. How are you going to mess him up?
Well, you got to ask Peterlin. You got to ask Peterlin about that. 2-7.
I don't. A team that's as desperate as the Browns are, Mike. Thank you for the call. Say the same thing I did yesterday. I'll just say it at a lower tone. A team that's as desperate as the Browns. Why would they draft a guy who has as much star power. Because you have to understand, like when Jimmy has them, and people are going after Jimmy for saying, like, it wasn't my draft pick, this, that, and the other. He's still a businessman. There's not a owner in the NFL that's more desperate for a starting quarterback than Jimmy Haslam. He knows Shedeur led the league in sold jerseys as a rookie, as a fifth-round rookie, as a day 3 rookie, led the league in jersey sales. Beat Travis Hunter. Okay, he's a businessman. You think he doesn't want that guy to get a fair shot?
Well,
the money that can be made with Shaduer Sanders?